Good afternoon and welcome to Match of the Day, in which we feature past and present champions of Europe in local derbies. Liverpool play at Goodison Park against Everton, and Aston Villa take on Coventry City at Highfield Road. And I think you'll enjoy them both.
Today's headlines: Peter Taylor looks set to return to football as Derby County manager, and Trevor Francis and Glenn Hoddle are ruled out of Bobby Robson's England squad.
Our first match needs little introduction, except to point out that Everton and Liverpool have played each other 126 times in Football League matches. They've won 44 each and drawn 38, adding just that extra touch of spice to an already magnetic fixture. Your commentator, John Motson.
All tickets sold. The crowd limit 52,000. The Merseyside derby, still the most vibrant occasion on the English football calendar. On a day designed to test the nerve of any player, Glenn Keeley, on loan to Everton from Blackburn, plays his first senior match of the season. He's been thrown in at the deep end before, though, making his league debut for Ipswich against Manchester United 10 years ago when he was 18 at just a few hours' notice. And he replaces Mark Higgins at number 4. The only other player not to have tasted this big occasion is number 11, Kevin Sheedy, signed from Liverpool in the summer. So too is number 8, David Johnson, who in the past has scored the winning goal in these fixtures for both Everton and Liverpool, while number 10, Andy King, struck the only goal here in 1978, Everton's only victory in the last 21 league meetings between the clubs. Liverpool field the side which beat Helsinki on Tuesday. Craig Johnston continues at number 5 in place of Ronnie Whelan. Substitute David Hodgson is new to this atmosphere, but the most experienced campaigner is right back Phil Neal, playing his 20th consecutive derby match since making his Liverpool debut here at Goodison in 1974. Phil Neal, in fact, was Bob Paisley's first signing when he took over as manager, and for the Liverpool boss, this is his last Goodison derby in charge. And another face in the crowd that Evertonians will recognise up in the stand underneath the cap, Harry Catterick, arguably the finest Everton manager, certainly since the war. He won 2 championships here. Referee this afternoon is Derek Civil from Birmingham. And the Mersey sound rings out as Everton kick off, playing from right to left in the white shorts. Kevin Sheedy against his old club. Back to the captain, Billy Wright. And now Keeley. Proud moment for Billy Wright, who always wanted to lead an Everton side against Liverpool. Craig Johnston. Ian Rush. Dalglish. The runner is Johnston. Lee couldn't reach it. Sheedy could. Bill Thompson. David Johnson for Everton. Neal. That was Keeley, good header. Lee. King. Now Bailey. On by Sharp, David Johnson. Heath, blocked by Hansen. McMahon. Burrows. Heath appeals for handball against Souness. The referee said thigh. Clearance hitting Lawrenson. Two shouts from the crowd there when Souness deflected the ball. Free kick against Mark Lawrenson. And Everton, who've been in such good scoring form recently, pushing Billy Wright forward and Glenn Keeley. McMahon takes. Header was by Wright. In their last 8 matches, Everton have scored at least twice each time. One of their best runs in recent years for scoring goals. And Howard Kendall determined to push on with that policy of getting players forward at every opportunity. King. Hansen in so fast. And leads the charge. Rush to his left. Onside. Ian Rush. 1-0 Liverpool. Brilliant goal. Marvellously made by Alan Hansen. And put away by Ian Rush with the minimum of fuss. Alan Hansen intercepting back in his own half. Saw the chance to go forward. Superb play by the big defender. The ball laid into the path of Ian Rush, and as Southall came out, Rush put away his 9th goal of the season. 11 minutes gone. Everton 0, Liverpool 1. International class there in the finish and in the build-up. So Liverpool, who came to the match as First Division leaders, are away again. It's Rush once more from Lee's pass this time. And again Rush hit the woodwork. Everton unsettled, unsure, and very nearly 2 goals down. Difficult angle for him, but he was so unlucky with the way it came out. Liverpool are finding some space ominously for Everton in this half of the field. Here's Neil. Souness. Dalglish's dummy, Johnston's flick. Untidy clearance by Wright. Dalglish, fine save by Southall. Souness puts it back. But what a good save by the Welsh international. An awful clearance by Billy Wright, which sent the ball skying, showed Everton's uncertainty, and when it came down, Dalglish's header was instant. But no more so than Southall's save. 15 minutes gone, and so far it's Liverpool's match. Rush. King. McMahon. Johnston. Oh, given away by Phil Thompson. Sheedy. David Johnson's coming in far side. Cover from Hansen. Not often you see Phil Thompson give the ball away like that. But here's Rush from a mistake by Keeling. And Dalglish is to his right. And he's missed it. So untypical. But honestly, Liverpool could have had 4. When you think that Dalglish, who missed that one, has had a header well saved, Rush has scored one and also hit the frame of the goal. Everton's defence, a thing of little substance in the opening 20 minutes here. David Johnson, sharp with Thompson. Away by Lawrence to Dalglish. Billy Wright was in fast. Sharp. Sheedy. Lee. Dalglish. Bailey. Andy King running from deep. Spectacular stuff from Grobbelaar. He saw King advancing. Bailey. Sharp. Not a bad turn at all. By Graham Sharp. There's Hansen. Craig Johnston is pulled away to the left wing. Alan Kennedy also on that side, on the ball now. And Dalglish is fairly offside. Offside, I think. The referee looks to the line and the flag was up. But has the referee given the go? It looks as though he has. Kenny Dalglish buried the header, but there was a flag up and John Bailey has gone racing across. So is the Everton coach Mick Heaton, and the other players are saying, why has the referee not taken heed of the flag? It was up, and here we have a true controversy. Over on the far side, Steve Mason with the yellow flag did have it up when the cross came in. What's the referee going to do? Free kick. And now Liverpool will go across. Kenny Dalglish, notably, to argue with referee Derek Civil. And let's have one thing right. That flag was up before the cross came in, or as it came in, and the goal does not stand. Linesman Steve Mason called the referee's attention eventually, and Derek Civil was big enough to change his mind, which on Derby Day is no easy thing to do. And Everton have had a let-off, to say the very least. The ground is humming now as the crowd debate that. Sheedy. Robillard has saved it from going for a corner. The game moves so fast that sometimes referees, in watching the play, need just a split second to check with the linesman, which Derek Civil did again there. The pace of this Merseyside derby is always a problem for players as well as for officials. Dalglish, Lee. Liverpool have got 7 players forward. Dalglish in for Johnston. Scored twice in the derby match at Anfield last season. Kenny Dalglish, a game that we showed on Match of the Day. Liverpool won both matches 3-1 last year. Away by Neil. McMahon. Burrows and Johnston. Hansen. Oh, Keeley could get caught here. Oh, he's pulled him back. And is that the goal-scoring opportunity denied? Does Keeley have to go off? Referee Derek Civil in a quandary again here, really. What does he do with Keeley? He pulled Dalglish back when the Liverpool number 7 was clear. And on his debut for Everton, Glenn Keeley, on loan from Blackburn Rovers, is sent off for what is sometimes mistakenly called the professional foul. It was serious foul play, to be accurate, pulling Dalglish back, and Everton are down to 10 men, and the referee applies the law the way that his breed have been doing and have been asked to do this season. And Liverpool now have not just a 1-goal advantage, they have the advantage of an extra man. 32 minutes gone, and sadness for Keeley. Lee drove it, Thompson with the header. And Lee again, hit the bar, and the goalkeeper didn't know what was happening. It rebounded against him, and luckily for him, went out for a corner. But the flag was up for an earlier offside, so it wouldn't have mattered. Everton have had a player sent off in a Merseyside derby for the 2nd year running. It was Eamon O'Keefe last year for a foul, and this year it's Glenn Keeley for pulling back Dalglish when he was clean through. McMahon, nicely done. The cross might pick out Sharp. Oh, and what hesitation in there by Liverpool. Hansen and Kennedy, the guilty parties. King. And Sharp, no, Neil. What a match. Here's Lee. Offside rush. Well, there's a debate going on back there in the Liverpool penalty area. It was their first nasty moment, and Alan Kennedy and Hansen didn't quite seem to know what danger there was lurking when that cross came in, and the arguments go on between Kennedy and Robillard. Johnson. Elbows between him and Alan Kennedy. Johnson held on. Heath. Sharp goes in for a dangerous one. Away by Neil. Still not really clear by Liverpool. King. Andy King. Once scored in 3 consecutive Merseyside derbies in his first spell with Everton. Dalglish. Lee. Lawrenson. Terrific stuff from Liverpool, and a very fine save by Neville Southall. Souness. King trying to close him down. He's found Kennedy. Square of him is Thompson if he needs him. He didn't. He found Dalglish. Brilliant run. Rush was nearly in again. Southall overworked for the moment, but responding well. Thompson. Lawrenson's header, and it was Lawrenson earlier who brought a fine save from the Everton goalkeeper, but the move that led up to that header was Liverpool at their very, very best. They just picked their moment to get the ball into the danger area, but the way players took defenders away to leave Lawrenson free was brilliant, and the reactions too of the goalkeeper deserve commendation. And the 127th Merseyside derby has produced a catalogue of incidents in the first half. Referee Derek Civil sending off Glenn Keeley of Everton. Also checking with his linesman before disallowing a possible second Liverpool goal. Kenny Dalglish, the unlucky player there. Checking it out maybe even now with the officials. But Liverpool at half-time lead by 1-0. The scorer, Ian Rush, after 11 minutes. Everton unbeaten at Goodison Park this season before today. Start the second half with McMahon in the right-back position and Burrows alongside Billy Wright to compensate for the absence of the dismissed Glenn Keeley. Playing Liverpool's bad enough when you've got 11 men, but with 10, there'll be some comeback if Everton can pull this one out of the fire. Here is McMahon. Heath. That's McMahon. King is closing in a bit. Indeed, Liverpool the only side to take 3 points here at Goodison against Everton since last November. Souness looking for Rush. They did so in the derby here last March. And Souness scored. Johnson. Souness for Liverpool. Down the line nicely by McMahon, looking for David Johnson, but Souness leading this Liverpool side by example, making sure they don't weaken at this stage. Here's Hansen. Rush. Deflection, has taken it in. Ian Rush will claim the goal, his second of the match, but it certainly came off a defender. Liverpool have gone 2-0 up from an apparently harmless position comparatively when he first picked up the ball. Seemed to me that the shot from Ian Rush might have come off Brian Burrows. So 51 minutes gone, and Liverpool, who were deprived of a second goal so often it seemed in the first half, now get one early in the second. Lawrenson. Rush again. Dalglish! Somehow they kept it out. But Ian Rush is leading Everton a merry dance. Forward by Heath, but a careless one. Phil Thompson, quicker than sharp. Souness. Oh, and Dalglish on Sheedy. Here's McMahon. And Sammy Lee. What an appetite he's got for the game. Here's Johnston. Oh, and that's all a bit nasty. John Bailey and Kenny Dalglish tangling. Dalglish appears to have got involved with a couple of Everton players in the opening minutes of this half. He was certainly guilty of a foul a minute or two ago, and also of getting involved there. Oh, he's got free, Dalglish. And put in by Lawrenson. What a simple goal. And Liverpool here have got Everton on the rack. Dalglish got free from the throw-in. That won't please Howard Kendall. The marker never went with him. He pulled the ball across the face of the goal, and Lawrenson came in at the far post to make it 3-0 after 55 minutes. Well, one's mind goes back to last season when Liverpool scored 3 in both matches against Everton. They've done it again here today. And it has been a very one-sided match. Lawrenson gets the third. Lawrenson, who's played with a composure and a comfort, which he climaxed with a good goal. Simple chance. And McMahon pressed into service here as an extra defender in view of the sending off has been not penalised, but he took the ball out in the opinion of the linesman, a corner to Liverpool. Played short to Kennedy. Lee back to Souness. In first time, Dalglish, Lawrence offside. Offside. Russia's put the ball in the net, but it won't count. There was a flag. There was a flag 2 or 3 seconds earlier, when the little interchange took place involving Dalglish on this near side of the penalty area. Oh, a back header by Phil Neal, which almost let Sharp in. Dalglish. Johnston reacted angrily on McMahon. He put his hand in McMahon's face because McMahon has pushed him back. McMahon initially obstructed Johnston there. It was his first offence. Johnston retaliated angrily. There was a push in the face by both players. He was held back, Johnston, by the shirt. So he'll get the free kick. And the referee is elected not to punish either player further. Souness. Johnston just a little rattled for the moment. Here's Sharp. Offside, David Johnson. Hansen. Kennedy. Dalglish has made his run again. Little flick on by him. Rush! My goodness me, Dalglish is such a tremendous player to have in your side. He makes things happen when there appears to be nothing in the wind at all. And Ian Rush was the player who so nearly capitalised. So, Liverpool, for once, having to defend, but not for long. Dalglish, and look at that ball. Ian Rush, and he's got three coming up in support here. Dalglish is one of them. Dalglish! A contender for man of the match. So the 52,000 plus capacity is reached. All the ticket holders appear to have come today. Everton have got to try and keep their morale high if they can do no more. Sheedy. David Johnson. The shot came off for Thompson. Sammy Lee. And again Liverpool find their men apparently so effortlessly. Offside against Rush. But the passing is, I think, the major difference between these two teams this afternoon. Liverpool always seem to be so sure of where the ball is going next. And for some time, Everton have found it difficult to build up a move involving two or three of their own passes. They might achieve it, perhaps, from this position with 20 minutes left. A thread is what they need to just get their game together, and Liverpool won't let them have it. Dalglish, look at that, rushes through. This could be history here for Ian Rush if he scores. He's at the post, he might score now, he has, and it's the first hat-trick in a Merseyside derby since 1935, in a league game anyway. 71 minutes, Rush has made it 4. He took Dalglish's pass, he hit the post the first time, he put the rebound in, and Bob Paisley, the manager, once told me, I remember last season, the last hat-trick in a league derby, scored by a fellow called Freddie Howe for Liverpool in September 1935, when he got 4 in a 6-0 win. And David Johnson, so involved in derby matches in the past, is the player to be brought off. But it's Everton's pride that's been dented, and Liverpool, who have provided most of the passion. Just over a quarter of an hour left when the substitution was made, but surely it's a lost cause. Liverpool are leading by 4 goals to 0. Liverpool are going to give Kenny Dalglish a rest. He's certainly done enough damage to deserve that. Gets a warm round of applause, and David Hodgson, a Tyneside by birth, who was signed from Middlesbrough, gets his first taste of the big Merseyside derby action. But what a match Kenny Dalglish has had, and now it's Sheedy. King, who slipped, and this is where Liverpool have made the game look so easy. They've come out of defence, got into their stride, and seem to get an extra man through. It's Ian Rush, can he score his 4th? It looks as though he has, yes! 5-0. 4 for Rush, 5 for Liverpool, and an awful day for Everton. charge from defence, the ball played through, and Rush, who's such a good finisher, went on to go round Southall and make this a day to remember for him in every sense. He'll surely get the match ball now. And listen to the crowd. Rush, who scored 30 goals last season, has made it 12 now so far this season. A natural goal scorer. Andy King looks for a consolation, but offside given. Rush is off again, but that's the last action. Ian Rush salutes the fans. Liverpool's superiority over Everton in the last 12 years seemed to be condensed into one dramatic afternoon. 5 goals were scored, 4 by Rush. It could have been more. Liverpool were majestic. The Copites rule. For Everton, I'm afraid there is only bitter disappointment. Their team was not just defeated, they were demoralised by a superb performance from the team that must still be surely the best in Europe.
Well, Everton fans might claim that the course of the game was changed dramatically when Keeley was sent off, obviously correctly, for committing that cynical foul. Well, apart from pointing out that the remedy for that would be not to commit such fouls, which was the original object of the exercise, it should perhaps be remembered that having consulted managers, players and referees, the advisory committee's first recommendation to punish such offences was to award a penalty kick, an equal deterrent and quite clearly a much more suitable punishment. It would create good statistics, more goals, rather than bad statistics, more sendings off. But since FIFA refused to sanction that course of action for an experimental year, and the club chairman at that stage didn't wish to go to war with the world governing body, we're left with the second best proposal, which is the only way within the current laws to curb such cynical abuse of the spirit of the game. Well, 10 men or not, there was nothing second best about Liverpool's performance. Kenny Dalglish seems rejuvenated. Rush took his chances superbly. But for the skill spot, we centre first on the extra grace that Alan Hansen adds to his defensive role. It's really Thompson here that gives him the chance to show what he can do on the ball. This is no accident, the ball that he leaves there off the back of his foot. It's there for him to show that if you've got the confidence, you can produce the skill in any part of the field and under any circumstance. And having got it, don't make a mess of it from then on, just lay it off neatly to the best placed available man. We next get a chance to look at his anticipation. Reading this pass better than the forward, he says, why wait if you can go and pick it up? And now a skill reminiscent of Gary Mabbott last week, ball round one side, player round the other, and now the chance to assess the pace and the strength and really the perception that lays behind this through pass. But look on the left of your picture, the red shirt there, you can see the mower lines across that Ian Rush is perfectly onside. As the ball is played, he's timed his run beautifully. So many players in this position run too soon and get themselves offside, and having neatly joined together the pass and the run, he finishes so precisely. But lastly, we look at Liverpool. Some people say they see him too often on Match of the Day. I can't understand that in a way when you see football of this standard. What might be a barren area to lots of teams, they use their first-time passing ability, a movement off the ball, one first-time pass. There's another one coming up, and another one. And then there's a dummy from Dalglish to let in Souness behind. This is two-touch. But it's rhythmical, it's enjoyable. Really, it's what keeps Liverpool ahead of the pack. Well, now for our first visit of the season to Highfield Road, where Coventry City take on European Cup winners Aston Villa, who, for all their spirited performances in Europe, have lost their last 4 away matches. Coventry's strength so far arises from a healthy home record. Your commentator is Alan Parry.
Highfield Road has staged First Division football for 16 consecutive seasons, a record matched by only 4 other grounds: Anfield, Highbury, Goodison Park and Main Road. In all that time, Coventry supporters have never seen their team win a trophy, but the faithful fans hope that this is the nucleus of a side to finally bring Coventry success. It's a typically youthful lineup, so the experience of skipper Gerry Francis is a vital factor. He returns after injury. Also back to lead Coventry's attack is Mark Hateley, who celebrates his 21st birthday party tonight. And among the guests and this afternoon's spectators is Mark's father, Tony Hateley, once a renowned goalscorer himself, with today's visitors. Aston Villa's marksman of the moment is Gary Shaw. And that midweek hat-trick in the European Cup has reinforced his claim to a place in the next England squad. Well, Shaw has recovered from a hamstring strain and lines up in a Villa side showing changes at fullback, with Colin Gibson suspended. Gary Williams switches to number 3 and Eamon Deasy comes in at number 2. Today's referee is John Deakin of Bedford. So the Sky Blues of Coventry kick off, attacking from left to right against Villa in the darker shirts, and surprisingly Villa have never lost to Coventry since returning to the First Division in 1975, and that's a total of 14 games. In fact, it's 45 years since Coventry beat Villa in a league game. Morley. Dangerous looking cross, but capably dealt with by Les Seeley, who's gone 4 games now without conceding a goal. Hateley on the chest to Hunt. Cowan's back, and now Mortimer, the Villa captain. With Shaw takes over. Bremner on the right, and Deasy also in support here. This is Deasy, with calling for the cross, and again Seeley quick to react. Poor kick by Seeley. McNaught. Cowan's lay up to Mortimer. Roberts with the interception, now Hunt. Roberts again. This is Hunt. Easy for Mortimer. Now Shaw. Morley free on the left. Shaw tries himself, and it hits the foot of the post. A splendid effort. Bremner pulls it back across, looking for width. The knockdown comes to Cowans, but in the end the referee gives the free kick to Coventry City. Gary Shaw showing all the confidence of a player very much in form. An ambitious effort from that distance, but what a fine effort, thudding against the foot of the post. Butterworth. Evans' header going straight to Hunt. Good pace, but a bad cross at the end of it, although rather unlucky then. Steve Hunt having the confidence to push the ball round DC and reach it first, but the cross rather disappointing. McNaught looking for width. Dyson. Oof, that was dangerously close to Shaw. Gillespie with a long ball for Thompson. McNaught met it first. Roberts. Hunt takes over. Butterworth. In for Thompson. McNaught's header. Williams clear. Now Francis. And again a pause from the crowd for a piece of control skill from Francis, finding on the left-hand side Gary Gillespie. And a good run by the centre-back. What a fine run. Hendry. Hunt. That has to go down as a miss. Gary Gillespie with his fine run down the left, setting up an opportunity. The ball pulled across the goal mouth. Hendry chipped it in again from the right-hand side, and Hunt hitting the ball first time, got his shot wrong, and Villa are relieved. Gillespie beats Shaw. This is DC. Chipped in for width. Dyson won it. Morley. Mortimer. Good effort, though. I think the goalkeeper, Seeley, had it covered. His dive towards the left-hand post proved in vain as Mortimer's shot flew wide, but a good build-up by Aston Villa. Well, a strange header that by Thompson. Cowans for Villa. Morley. Cowans. In towards Bremner. Came off Roberts. He's got to stop that going, or it'll go for a corner. And he did. But now Bremner. Shaw with his back to the defender. Easy slips, but still has it. Mortimer's shot. What a tremendous effort. And the referee, in fact, has given a free kick to Coventry for offside. But whether that was before Mortimer struck that shot or momentarily later, when Peter With certainly was in an offside position, is debatable. But still, what a fiercely struck effort it was by the Aston Villa captain, hitting the woodwork, and Coventry happy to get away with that. Morley. DC in space on the right. A chip that was well worth trying. Intelligent play by Morley when everyone was expecting him to lay the ball off to the right. He cut in field and chipped it towards the top angle of the Coventry goal, but Seeley was aware what was happening. So we're into the final few seconds of the first half. And Aston Villa, who've hit the woodwork twice, still have to settle for going off at half-time goalless, as indeed do Coventry City, who've been rather disappointing. Their only effort, a miss-hit shot from Hunt, but no goals at half-time. Coventry City have made a substitution at half-time. Steve Jacobs, who previously played in every game this season, comes on in place of Jerry Francis, who suffered a recurrence of his knee injury. So Villa start the second half. Their away form in the First Division, in sharp contrast to their results at Villa Park. At home they've won 5 and lost 1. Away they've won 1 and lost 5. Certainly looking the better side so far today. And with Jerry Francis now off, Coventry's job is going to be made even harder. And Gary Williams has earned Aston Villa a free kick. Cowan swinging it in. And it came off the head of With. And proved to be more difficult than it at first appeared. With going up, flicking it on, and Les Seeley having to tip it over for the corner. In high towards Evans. And everyone pinned inside the Coventry half. Jimmy Rimmer, of course, the sole exception. But Evans could do nothing with the ball. This is Jacobs. And he could do even worse with it. Bremner. Mortimer with DC on the right. He hasn't seen him, he has seen Shaw against the legs of the goalkeeper. And Roberts hacks it clear. Cowans. The pressure continues. Williams. Mortimer. And Coventry get it away again. Evans. Good run by Evans. Williams. Shaw. And Coventry really under pressure in the opening stages of this second half, and Gary Shaw producing a fine turn, a lovely through ball to him in the penalty area, and the shot against the legs of the goalkeeper. Dyson. Woods' header deflected off Hunt, straight to Mortimer. Cowans. Good ball. Bremner. With saying exactly where he wants it. And Bremner delivers it. Oh, well, it looks spectacular by Morley. But from that range, perhaps he ought to have done better. Peter with the cross and directed the ball exactly where he wanted it when Bremner found him with that lovely through ball, but Morley with the acrobatic header wide. Plenty of room for Butterworth to carry the ball forward. Here's Hakely. This is Hendry. Evans clear. Hendry doing well. Thomas wins the corner. And John Hendry has been freed by the arrival, really, of Steve Jacobs to a more attacking role down the right, which he favours, and he's using that opportunity well. Oh, it came off the defender. And McNaught very lucky not to concede an own goal. Talk, he said. Tell me what was going on. Nobody did. Cowans took it on the chest well. And a first-time ball for Morley. Roberts back to cover, and Bremner is completely unmarked. Can he finish? What a fine save, although in fairness it was hit straight at him. An astonishing breakaway by Aston Villa. With Morley seeing Bremner unmarked, cutting the ball back to him. He hit the shot hard, but straight at Seeley, who made a good save. Butterworth. Hunt. Chip forward for Gillespie. That was the intention anyway. And Mortimer knew what the intention was. Taking the return from Peter With, who gets it back off a Coventry defender. Bremner did so well. Here's Williams. Morley on the left. Shaw and With inevitably in the centre. Gillespie's header. Dyson sliced his clearance. Butterworth helped it out. And Coventry break. This is Roberts. Hunt. Two teams really now committing themselves to win the 3 points at stake. Lovely back flick by Hendry to Thomas. A good determined run by Danny Thomas. But John Hendry, the man of the half as far as I'm concerned, set up the opening with that lovely little flick. The ball landing in the path of Thomas and his shot going wide. And Jerry Francis quickly changed, now a spectator, and I wonder what he thinks Coventry's prospects in this game are. Morley. Butterworth clear. It's a real late flurry this though by Aston Villa. Here's Evans. Good tackle. Good game he's had actually, Gillespie. And here's Hakely. And Gillespie's continued his run forward. Now then, can Hakely produce something in the dying minutes? Finds Hunt. And now Hendry. Thompson's header against the bar. Well, well. Coventry rue their luck, but try again with Thomas. comes to Thompson again. Gillespie with the shot. And wide. And much holding of heads in hands, particularly from this man, Gary Thompson, who rose so well and thudded that effort against the Aston Villa crossbar with only just over a minute remaining. With taking it on the chest. Cowan's giving it back to him. So Seeley gets the last kick and also keeps his goal intact. That's 5 games now without conceding one for Seeley and Coventry City. But also significantly, of course, a game in which they failed to score one. It had its moments, but they were few and far between, in all honesty. Aston Villa's away record continues to stutter, unlike their home form, and Coventry City's youthful promise continues to remain just that for the moment. Full-time score, Coventry City 0, Aston Villa 0.
And no goals, but a local derby that seemed to be enjoyed by both sets of club supporters. And I must say the atmosphere in the ground was most pleasant on and off the field. There were no obscenities, and it was just like old times, and very well refereed too. Bob.
Now the major story of the day, and it seems as expected that Peter Taylor is on his way back into football and at the baseball ground derby where he enjoyed so much success in the early 70s with Brian Clough. An announcement by new chairman Mike Watterson is expected in an hour or two, confirming Peter Taylor's appointment as Derby manager in succession to John Newman, whose contract was terminated within the last hour. In 1972, the Clough-Taylor partnership guided Derby to a first league championship, and of course subsequently the two enjoyed the same success at Nottingham Forest, plus League Cup and European Cup triumphs. Not a happy outlook today for Millwall manager Peter Anderson. It looks very much as if he and his assistant Terry Long are about to lose their jobs with the third division club, following letters received yesterday from club chairman Alan Thorne suspending them for 72 hours. The day's transfer news: Mick Mills travels to Sunderland in the morning for a medical, which if passed will put the finishing touch to his transfer from Ipswich. Terms are agreed and Mick will sign an 18-month player's contract. The bizarre saga involving Alan Simonsen is over. The former European Footballer of the Year flies in from Barcelona on Tuesday and makes his debut for Charlton in Wednesday's reserve game at the Valley against Swansea. His first team debut will be in the home game against Malcolm Allison's Middlesbrough next Saturday. That other drawn-out transfer saga involving Yugoslav international Vladimir Petrovic will drag on until the new year. Yesterday, the Yugoslav FA voted 11-5 against even discussing Petrovic's proposed move from Red Star Belgrade to Arsenal. But on January the 1st, he will be free to return to London, assuming, of course, Arsenal take up their option on the player. Tomorrow, Bobby Robson names his squad for the European Championship game in Greece in 10 days' time. And this morning, the England manager told me that Trevor Francis is definitely out of the reckoning. 2 phone calls to Sampdoria in the last couple of days resulted in Francis eventually ruling himself out through injury. It also seems that Glenn Hoddle, who played his first full game for Spurs yesterday after 7 weeks on the injured list, will be left out. Robson watched Spurs' 1-0 defeat by Watford and has made it clear that Glenn still needs a couple of weeks of competitive football behind him before coming back into the England setup. On the brighter side, the England manager is able to include Manchester United's Brian Robson and Steve Coppell, both of whom missed the West German game, and Robson will take over the captaincy from Ray Wilkins, who has a fractured cheekbone. The biggest problem could be the right-back spot. Viv Anderson of Nottingham Forest is still injured, and if the England manager feels Gary Mabbott, who filled that position against the Germans, would be more useful in his normal midfield role, the options open would appear to be a recall for Phil Neal of Liverpool, or even a first call-up for young Danny Thomas of Coventry. Other leading contenders for inclusion on current form are Paul Goddard of West Ham, Sammy Lee of Liverpool, and the Aston Villa pair Gary Shaw and Gordon Cowans. Jock Stein names his squad on Tuesday for the European Championship game in Switzerland a week on Wednesday. And it looks as if Liverpool's Kenny Dalglish could be back, especially if the Scottish manager is not satisfied that Dundee United's Paul Sturrock is match fit after an eye injury. Yesterday, Sturrock could only sit and watch as his United teammates lost their unbeaten record in the Scottish Premier Division at Aberdeen.
That's Ralph Milne about to take this. That's a good one, looking call. So Peter Weir is there with Gordon Strachan. That is a crowded looking penalty area. That's a good ball, and McLeish almost getting down to it. There's Weir again, beautifully cut back. And there it is, the equaliser. Neil Cooper Watch the curl in this one. There it is. Rugby. 2-1. In come the big men again. Rugby will be up, so McLeish and Cooper. Must be an awesome sight to see Duke Rugby come in for a corner kick like this. He's up again. There's Rugby. Oh dear. There's Rugby number 3, itching to get at it again from the corner kick. That's a touch and straight through by Black. Ferguson anxious to get on with it there. I think he's enjoyed this afternoon. Here's Strachan, he might enjoy more. He tries to put it in and has. Oh, what a piece of magic.
Time now for the result of our Goal of the Month competition. I'll tell you the winner in a moment, but first the winning order chosen by our panel. It was FCG, so the Goal of the Month was scored by Gordon Davis for Fulham against Newcastle United.
Davis. Houghton was coming through. Wilson turned it on. Here's Gordon Davis. Well, what a good finish.
The first postcard pulled out of the sack with the correct winning order was sent in by Mr. S.W. Hills of Goddington Road, Ashford, Kent. Well done, Mr. Hills. £100 worth of premium bonds are on their way to you. No relation, I assure you. So, Liverpool once again have dominated the programme, with some assistance from Aberdeen. They're back on top of the First Division and appear to be going from strength to strength. Who can stop them? Good afternoon.
And Dalglish is fairly offside. Lawrenson. Rush again. Dalglish! So Liverpool, who came to the match as First Division leaders, are away again. It's Rush once more from Lee's pass this time. And again Rush hit the woodwork.
The way we played today, you know, playing it about and keeping it, and, you know, the people moving up front, you know, it was just a superb performance. And watching from the back, I mean, we've got so many good players, it's just frightening.
Liverpool are finding some space ominously for Everton in this half of the field. Here's Neil. Souness. Dalglish's dummy. Johnston's flick. Untidy clearance by Wright. Dalglish. Fine save by Southall.
I really didn't fancy our chances much today, as a matter of fact, before the game. I don't know why. I just had this feeling, you know, that we might, you know, be under a bit of pressure, but it's just one of these games that we played and they didn't, and Frushy scores 4 goals, and he'll have a good night tonight anyway.
Hansen in so fast and leads the charge. Rush to his left. Onside. Ian Rush. 1-0 Liverpool. Brilliant goal. Rush. Deflection. Has taken it in.
It's a great result for us. Great for the players, great for the fans. Everyone involved with Liverpool Football Club will be delighted tonight.
Oh, he's got free, Dalglish. And put in by Lawrenson.
Today I think it's the best day of my life so far, and including the league championship and that, you know, it's always fantastic. That's a season, but on the day this, you know, it stands out a lot to me, and I'll remember this for the rest of my life.
Look at that, rushes through. This could be history here for Ian Rush if he scores. He's at the post. He might score now, he has. It's Ian Rush, can he score his 4th? It looks as though he has, yes. 5-0.